What are we at? Have we had a 5th completion yet? Probably not. Nope. Not yet. A few more attempts. Wow, okay. So this one is actually getting less attention, like overall. I wonder what is driving people to this one. Huh. Maybe just that I've submitted some more streamers. That could just be that. I wonder what the threshold is for like maker points to get a lot of to get a high score. I think your maker level is will determine some of your visibility. I'm not super sure. Like at the very least, word of mouth or whatever. Okay. So this puzzle, so far I'm not liking it, and there's issues with it. The boss turned out to be really cool, though. This puzzle I do not like, and I want to come up with a better... Maybe I'll make it 2 screens. I don't know. Be easier to make it more interesting with 2 screens, but then again, I have like nothing left. I have just the 2 more on top of that to work with. Which in reality, a shorter level is probably kind of fine. But considering my levels are so far notoriously long. I mean, this one is really not... I mean, if short and sweet was the way to go, I think I'd be fine with defaulting to that. So you're chasing the Galumba, and you're basically trying to set up the scene. And there's not a ton of difficulty here, just a little bit. I want to spice this up just a little bit, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet. And then you have the option of, like, do I want to get the 10 coin or not? And that's a minor little thing you can get. And, so the scene, Galumba drops perfectly in the center. And you're like, huh, I can't get up. So, what I might do is I might put another block down here for like a... I would love to have a block somewhere for a 1-up or something, like right over here. So that way if you're trying it and you don't quite make it, it would drop such that it would have to be like right here. Something you couldn't land on. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that real quick before I forget. Because I want to, in this particular level, I do want to reward players for exploring. And I'm fine in this case with, especially for Endless, having a disproportionate high amount of reward, because I think that's a strong driver of player behavior and likes and stuff. Say there's your 1-up. It's free. If you go to look for it, you can't get up, but at least you have another little secret there. Let me do it back though. I want to go through the start again. So there's no way you're going to get to the Galumba right now, and there's a little bit of difficulty, but nothing too crazy. This is not the focus of the level. You have at least a 2-block buffer for that jump. If you really want, you can ride, you know, any of the cannonballs or bullet bills or whatever. So then you hop on in. And the Galumba's at the top. And you've got to figure out a way to advance to them. And the other thing is that, of course, the Galumba is also like, I wanted to stop at certain points, so in order to get to them and to advance the level at the same time, you're also freeing them as you go. Ooh, that was close. There's another exploratory one up. So you can kind of see him if you look. See, he's now stuck. And you can actually watch him, like, over there. So, see how there's these tracks here. This particular one is driven by an on-off switch. So you head on down, and it's like, oh, Koopas. What are the Koopas doing? And apparently they're being shipped off to another part of the level. What I might do is have something where you show the Koopas being you show them being dumped off like as if they're being dropped as like paratroopers or something, but I'm not worried about that now. So you activate that, and the Goomba's on his way. Making a point of having a lot of coins here too. So he walks off screen, and you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's all we can do." And boss fight. And the boss fight is pretty simple. It's more just about getting just like you're basically going for getting the icicles to hit Boom Boom. And they're mostly being intercepted by the blocks, so you're trying to figure out like how to maneuver and there's like an opening that opens up every while or so that works pretty well. That wasn't intended. I might have to reevaluate that. I have to make sure that you can't. I have to make sure. I might have to make them red shells or spinies or something. Which will be a little bit more dangerous too. I want it to be a little bit scarier. I'm sure spinies or spike tops are better here. Bullet bills? No, bullet bills though won't hit the ground. No, I previously had bullet bills. I need a way for these to not. Oh, there's no way to do this. Maybe spike tops are better. Nah. I need a way so they'll never land. Oh, I know what I can do. So they'll never land in a way that you can wear them as a hat. And the way that we would do that is by enclosing this with a one-way at the top, so you can never get under it. Or, huh? Has to be one way out. So, it would end up being like this. Oops. I had it already. I keep thinking these are 8-way and they're not. So, let me double check this here. Yeah. And then you have the huge risk of, like, you gotta jump these things. I'm kind of debating whether they should be spinies, honestly. They're dangerous enough as it is. This is really difficult, I think. I think I might go back to using the Buzzy Beetle shells. Because this will ensure that you can't ever pick them up anyways, so it's kind of fine. Yeah, so I think Spinies are too much. The Beetle shells are fine. I just need to make sure that you can't, you can never pick them up, and this is a way to do it. And this means you have a threat from the side. You don't have a threat if you're just jumping over them. Because I don't want to make it too difficult. But yeah, so what you do is you hop on in, and they both shoot at the same time. And you can stand on them, it's fine. But you're trying to coordinate an opening in the to get an icicle to hit. And it is not easy. Some of it will happen on its own if you like. So there basically is sort of there is sort of a timer that basically, like, given enough time, he will get hit no matter what. I think if you're going for the world record for the level, then there will be a strategy to get this perfect, and I don't actually know what it is. Oh man, if you just moved to the left just a little bit, that would have been fine. Because every while or so he'll stop, or he'll make a big jump. Yeah, there we go. Now he speeds up. There we go. So then you get your key. And now. I don't have a good idea what to do with this room yet. But I was thinking something like you're riding the Buzzy Beetles up and down. Meanwhile, the Galooba starts here and starts bouncing up here. He's basically climbing out of the room. And what I wanted to do is have something to where he would climb to the very top and he'd basically escape, and you'd have to you'd go over to you'd exit the room or something, and when you do, he shows up and keeps going something, I don't know. And what I would like to do is have like another couple rooms, and then the very last one is a boss, is like a big boss. And like a big giant vertical room boss. And I don't have a great idea of what that's going to be yet. Yeah, the theme is basically that you're trying to chase this Galoomba and finish him off for whatever reason. Maybe he spit in your pizza or something, I don't know. But he wouldn't turn his phone off at a movie theater. But he's nefarious, and he's gotta go. I move like the entirety of this down a few blocks at least. Yeah, Mario likes the Galoomba flavor on his pizza, and if he doesn't get it, Mario's gonna be upset. So I think what would happen is the Galoomba gets up here and he's kind of crawling around and just leaves. And if you happen to finish this level quick enough, you'll see it. Otherwise, he just leaves and he's over here. And I need to make sure that this area is locked off, because if I don't lock this entire area off, oops, there, then the camera will move. I need to make sure that when you get into this area, the camera is static. So that's got to be a thing. We'll get to squash him. I'm going to try to make a fantastic, like, I'm expecting the sequence where the Galoomba enters and you basically have to like unlock and chase him through the level through through threats, and at the very end you just like mash them with thwomps or something. I don't know what. Like maybe there would be like a switch at the very end, and there's like thwomps, and you basically will just like thwomp kill them, and then that last switch, like the Galumba here would have a key, and it just opens the door, and you can leave. So I don't know, something. I need to give him a super gnarly death though. Whatever it is, it's got to be awful and vicious. Man, the multi-grab feature is so good. I'm so glad this exists. Yeah, I don't like that though. Not that this is a special thing, but it's just nice to have. So basically, the moment the camera is centered properly, as you'd expect, or you go through the door or whatever, it's like locked like this. So man, we have not a lot of space. I might have to change this up. I might make this area a little bit different. This is kind of how I want this, though. I might make it to where you have to, No, this is fine. This has got to be made interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, though. I have a terrible thing that I kind of want to think about. It'd be kind of funny. Just bear with me for a sec while I think this one through. Oh, this is even better than I thought, because this is a two-parter. If it works the way I think it's going to work. These things, yeah, these are nasty. I think I might just put it here. Oh, no, I need to put this further forward, like there-ish. There's a really good reason for this, too. Yeah. Let me make sure we have a little bit of space to work with over there. Yep. We have exactly one tile to work with. Perfect, okay. I might move it a little to the right. Okay. Can I make this slower? No, I cannot. Okay. Nope. Okay. This might be a little bit cruel, but we'll see. Has a crash course in game design who platform that? Yeah. No, yeah. That's why I think Yamamura's dojo is so great. Okay. I have to be really, really careful about that. The cycles are really important too. I think I'm gonna have exactly 3. Because the cycles will never be too terrible in this case. Oh, what would be even better? I can't fit it even, I don't think. I don't want to be too cruel with this, but I want to have a little suspense point here. I'm trying to make some of the difficulty somewhat fake. But I want there to be a little bit of suspense. Yeah. Just so that you're worrying about it on the way in. Because you can jump it if you're really careful about it. But it's gonna be just kind of scary. Especially as you're gonna have to deal with some puzzle stuff as you get in. Of some sort. Maybe it's just... Maybe it's just a little simple obstacle course thing. Well, you won't miss it because it's bright. That might be a little much. Maybe I'll switch one of these out. Yeah, that's much better. That just allows you to get a little worried. In fact, I'm going to expand this out a little bit. There we go. Really careful with this design. How scary can I make this? Oh, that's good suspense. The amount of time it'll take. Oh, that's perfect. That is, except for this. This has got to go. Because you can always make it if you get it, if you do the jump right, even remotely right. But it makes you go, oh, here we go. I need to make it a little bit longer. I want this to be scary. I don't want this to be difficult, but I want it to be scary. And I want to put coins there or something just so that you're... The coins almost are going to tick down your time as you're going. It's like 1 or 2 more. Oh, yeah, that starts to feel really scary. You have plenty of time, but it doesn't feel like it. Oh, it does not feel like you have enough time. You have about 1.5 seconds extra, something like that. I'm also gonna go ahead and put a. I think I'll put a secret mushroom here. And it's like semi-secret in terms of like you'll get it, but you won't expect it on the way in. You're gonna be like, why are there coins there? And you're like, oh, a mushroom, good, perfect. That'll help. And you've also got to time it with this guy, which is great. Hey Zach, it's good. It is super good. I definitely recommend it. Not only is it a good platform for making levels, it's also a great platform for learning about game design. Do I want to ease the tension of going into this room? Since you've just finished the boss fight, I only want to have like a tense breather. I don't want it to be super crazy. And yeah, I do want to ease the tension. I definitely don't. I want it to be one of those things where, like, if you're second guessing it and not super confident, you might explore around, get the coin, maybe get the mushroom, and you're good. But I'm not. This particular sequence, I don't need to be super difficult. I'm not craving the level of difficulty from, like, my previous level, at the very least. I do want to check something. I'm not sure how big the grinders are, the buzzsaw guys. You have like a smaller version of these things? Probably not. I'd have to make it go out of the way. Can you do? Yes, you can. Oh, interesting. And then you kind of have a mechanic where not only do you have... Perfect. Oops. So then you gotta deal with both of these. And the perfect part about this is that you have the sounds and the extra lighting just in the right spot. I might have to go backwards. I need to make sure the cycles match up properly. The sound and the extra lighting from the... So yeah, you could make it and then get out. Does Donut Switch not want to buy one? Yeah, no, I understand that. So you can get through and you're good. And then you kind of deal with like, alright, well what do I even do here? I think you can barely live, yeah. So the trick to this... I might move the fire wheel thing a little bit more to the right. I have to make this visible, but basically what happens is the bomb comes out, right? And if the bomb gets hit by the fire wheel, of course he's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna pop. You won't make it, right? And only one comes out, right? So the trick ends up being something like you gotta get the bomb to come out, let the fire wheel go, come out, put that down, and now you can actually escape, and you're here. Should have skipped on PS4 and invested in PC sooner. Yeah, I have an Xbox One that I bought very late. I don't play anything on it. My PS4 was not worth it. The only game that I played that was like PS4 exclusive was Bloodborne, and I should have just skipped. It wasn't good. I should have just found something else to do in the meantime. What I kind of want to do, which would be kind of cool, would be to You can have the Galumba walk across a note block and pop a mushroom or something out, but I don't know. I think I don't want that here. I should have put that somewhere else throughout the level, like earlier, but this is fine. Your PS4 exclusives are Bloodborne and Horizon Zero Dawn. Have you used it for some... That's the thing, my PC can handle any game better than any console because I'm throwing so much hardware at it that it doesn't matter. So it really comes down to, like, are the exclusives good enough for me to want to play them? And the answer is no. But that's only because I'm especially particular with the games that I play. Even the Switch is hard to justify because there's PC ports that are... You know, most of the games that I play on Switch are started on PC. You got it for Neo 2 before it was announced? Ah, Neo, what a... I wish that was a better thing for me. That experience for me was sullied by the beta. Had I not... or the alpha or whatever. Had I not played that, I probably would have spent more time with Neo. Based on what I've seen, I don't know if I would like it, but I would have not put it down and put it off. Something like this. Just enough to get the Galumba out of the way. And the way that I've typically handled this is, I'll usually have a little pit for the Galumba to get stuck in, and then we're solid. But it has to be before the edge of the level, so it has to be earlier than this. It's probably gonna be right down here. He needs like something where, like this, where basically the Galumba arrives and then he gets trapped and you can't see him. So I need something that'll... He needs to get trapped higher up. Oops. Where Mario won't necessarily see him. Whatever that happens to be. I could just put like a one-way at the very, very top. So where he'll turn around... No, I can't, because he'll make noise. Well, actually...
Gracious.
Hey, what is this? Hey, thanks for the tip, Zach. Appreciate it. I haven't received... I forgot that still even worked. I haven't received a any tips in forever. I'm glad that works because I totally forgot. Let's see. I think if I do... I need to move this... God damn it. I need to do this. I don't think this... Yeah, and then I need to move this up a little bit. Or something like that. And so... I think the way to do this is... Oh God, just put this over here. What should happen is the Galumba should get stuck over here and Mario can't see him, I think. Maybe. I still find it so weird that these things are called... They're not Goombas, they're Galumbas. That's so freaking weird. What I could also do is make it to where he gets up here and then he starts going to the left and gets stuck over there and you're not noticing. Something, you know. Hold on a sec. Was there a message with that? I know Streamlabs. Oops. supports a putting a message on the tips. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, appreciate it though. I just want to make sure I didn't miss the message. All right, try it again. For Dark Souls 3 on the PS4, computer could technically run more graphics setting. Well, that's because Dark Souls 3 isn't very well optimized. Dark Souls 3 is like running on like some fork of the Bloodborne version of the engine or something, which runs like garbage. Where is the Galumba? Oh, I can't do it anyways. Just enough time. Where is he? Yeah, so you can't see... I can hear him, though. Damn you! Okay, what we can do is this, though. So yeah, I guess if the camera doesn't move, I don't even need that. Oop. Come here. Come here. Get... Let me have it. Stop. Stop. You're not... You're single grab. You're stupid. Fine. Fine. You're not multi-grab at all. Oh my god, you're killing me. Alright, you know what? We're gonna do it this way. I think that's right. I want to make sure that there's no extra noise being made in the level that you don't care about. I could put a bunch of springs off to the side or something so that you're a little more weary. I don't know. As far as you can tell, this will always... So can you get hit on the right here? Should barely miss you, I hope. No, it doesn't. Wow, okay. I'm gonna shrink this by 1. That again. Dark Souls 3 on PS4 runs so bad for me that I got motion sickness. Mostly because it speeds up and slows down. I just can't handle that. It's mostly multiplayer in there we go. How much space do we have here? So it's 2 on either side. In the Duke's Archive. Come on. There. Meanwhile, you can't quite see the Galumba, but he's up there. I might do something like this, where... Does that still lock the camera, you think? Yeah, it does. Good. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what would be fun? I'm gonna put a 10 coin on the top left over there, for anybody who wants to get greedy. No, the archive is... Yeah, it's for the second... See, did you even see that? I guess you would. So yeah, if you're... How would you get that? Huh. To the right. You can make it to where you can't comfortably get it without landing on a Buzzy Beetle. Yeah, it's tricky. You can do it. Lots of little stuff like that. Also, what about some coins over here? Further up. Bunch of Mega Dukes archive. Oh, so anyways, there's at least 1 or 2 Sen's Fortress at the very least. Dark Souls 3 Dukes, I can't say I really like. I think the verticality of it was good. Performance was abysmal on PS4 though. This needs to be like a 50. This needs to bait you into potentially ending the run. Yeah, you barely have enough on that side too. Oh man, I want this to be a bit higher up so you can get on. It's a shame I can't do really like short. I don't think Mario can do that. You know what I can do to make this look fine though? I'll put a semi. I can't. No, I can. I know. I just want to make it to where you can jump into it, but it doesn't look like you can do anything with it. So this has got to go. How does this look? That way it looks supported, but you could still kind of it's easier to get onto the conveyor belt. See. So this is more scary than anything else. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I like that. I'm going with it. Now, I guess so. Okay, so I know what I can do. So one rule that that they confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt in Yamamura's dojo is that characters don't start moving until they're on the screen, and that is a hard, fast rule, 100%. So just to confirm that, what I can do is I can say I'm gonna put a Galumba over here that shows up in the level, so he shouldn't ever be here until you've actually gotten this popped and you've entered the room. So what'll happen is he'll start walking in, because what I want is that I want for him to get on camera at some point, but like later. So let's say you're over here. Let's be a little further out like this. I need the camera to be locked, so. So yeah, camera didn't move. And the Goomba is hopefully still higher up. There's the Goomba, yeah, perfect. So the cool thing about this is that he's gonna leave off camera and get stuck here, and then it looks like he's been moving to the right the entire time and doing whatever. You finally catch up to him, and then he re-enters the camera due to the design of the level, which is great. Let me save this before I forget. I think Dark Souls 3 overall art direction and color palette. Yeah, Bloodborne's the same way. They use these, so they do two things that I don't like, and I think are causing them to not be as good or memorable. They have a very muted, low contrast color palette, and there's a lot of visual noise in any given scene. So what ends up happening is that nothing stands out. There's no distinct shapes. There's no like landmarks. The scenes aren't as memorable. Nothing really draws your eye in any way. You know, it's more like something you'd study as part of like an art piece, and you have a lot of time to look at, than something you could use as part of a game. If that makes any sense. I think that's something Demon Souls and Dark Souls did exceedingly well. Yeah! Even the funny thing, everyone gives Dark Souls 2 so much hate, but Dark Souls 2 has some like very distinct like shapes, and it leaves your eye really well throughout the level. The bigger scale stuff, especially how the world connects, I can understand. That doesn't really work very well. But like the individual pieces of the level and each individual room is actually pretty good. Dark Souls 2 is more coherent level. They have more coherent level design, like, on a mechanical basis. Like, a lot more, like, functional elements that are interesting. Don't really like the hub design? Oh, yeah, no, I think the hub design is kind of boring. I think it makes it easier to do the level design, to do the world design. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 did not have the visual static. Dark Souls 2 was very clean visuals, like easy to read, not so noisy, big shapes, distinct colors, stuff that drew your eye and directed your eye. Wow, this is a very lucky boss fight. I can imagine there basically being RNG as like a not truly RNG. I mean, obviously. It's very difficult to position yourself perfectly for Boom Boom, but you could have a really good run or a really bad run, and it would kind of feel like one of those kind of speedrunner things. There's a Goomba leaving. Oh, gotta be careful. I'm half inclined to put a a little safety deal here. I don't know, I can just move the coins up so you don't have to be super greedy. Well, Dark Souls 1, though, wasn't like a disconnected hub. And you get one shot at that. Dark Souls 1, whereas it felt more part of a seamless world, because it basically was. Where Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 completely disconnect you from the world. Dark Souls 2 is it's a bit mixed, because they have one-way paths and stuff that disconnects and gets cut off, but like Hades and Majula and whatnot, Forest, I mean those are connected at least. Alright. There's the Galoomba, there he is. In fact, what I could do is I could put this a little bit lower down. So he'll turn really quick. Does this take Galoomba? This says Gela. I could make this even lower. What I'll do is this. Dodger's Dream Bloodborne feels somewhat out of place. Yeah. It definitely... It doesn't develop as well and as uncomfortably as I think it should. And they missed the boat on having a proper... I hate that they basically turned... I hate that they turned the Cthulhu presentation on its head. Ebrietas was so disappointing. Because you approach Ebrietas from the back, and she's turned around facing what looks kind of like Rom. And you're like, oh my god, in a distance, it's completely a silhouette of Cthulhu. And then this ugly, horrible butt monster turns around, and you're just like, you ruined it. Especially because considering how the game spends so much time conditioning you to slowly approach the scene, bosses, whatever. And then the disappointment. Like, you spend so much time creeping up to this thing, going like, hey, are you gonna kill me? Are you gonna one-shot me? Am I gonna have to go back and suffer? And it's like, nah, come a little closer, tell me what you think. And the suspense builds, and then it just poops on you. Just shits on your pizza. One thing I don't like about Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne is ashes and badges. Each game only has a handful of merchants. Yeah. And I feel like they spend so much time being obscure about it, but they don't give you enough good, interesting pieces to put together. Everything kind of leads into a disappointing conclusion anyways. And not in a way that is supposed to be... Not in a way that feels so... Like, you know how like Eldritch lore is supposed to be unintelligible and mindfucky and everything? It doesn't feel like that. It just feels disappointing, like a lot of loose ends. It doesn't feel like there's a bigger picture that you will never comprehend. And that just bothered me. What can we do with this? We have a whole section over here I could do something with. I don't have an answer for what yet. You know what I might do? What can we do with this? I think what I might do is make it to where you enter the room and there are donut blocks. And you see the Galoomba at the very top. So you have a few seconds to look at the Galoomba. And then you slowly go down. And then the boss fight starts. So I think what I could do... Gotta come up with a good way to do this. Yeah, repeat. I think the funny thing is that I think the way my probable favorite way of Lovecraftian stuff, the way to put that into the mechanics of the game, would have probably been Sundered, because Sundered doesn't go super thick into it, but what they do is two things. One is every like big boss encounter, whatever, feels so overwhelming and out of your control, but because of the way that the levels are, like the areas are structured, the fact that the waves keep coming and you and the especially the sound and visuals and stuff, it feels like you just have to flee. Like you're sort of like trying to scramble to brush these things. Like it's almost like walking into a bathtub full of spiders, and you're just like, oh my god, I need to get out and brush these things off of me. And you're screaming, and you have some agency of like to kind of barely eke out the modicum of safety. But there's no fighting that. You just leave and you plan to burn it down. But I don't know how to explain it. It's just. I don't know. I'm not explaining it well. But everything feels so just enough out of your control, where I think it kind of fits the theme and so unknowable. There. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this yet. I think what I might do... I need to have one Galooba needs to leave. How are we doing this? So, okay, I'll show you what I want to do, and we can figure out how to do it. I mean, this might actually be fine. I'll do it. I'll have him sort of like, just like kind of leave and you can't quite see. The ongoing theme of Soul games is that you're just filling some destiny and you only get agency to do the stuff like take the secret ending. Dark Souls 1, yes. Dark Souls 2 actually was a really cool change of pace. And I'll get into that in a sec. I want to just demonstrate this real quick. Dark Souls 2 is a lot to talk about. Oh, hold on. That's not the one I want. Actually, you know what? I might want to just make this... Make this one wide. One more thing. So, I need to make sure the music doesn't resume right away. God, I hate how it just... I don't know if these are going to repeat or not. I need to make it to where it stays until it plays the boss music.
Let's go.
So the interesting thing that could happen with this level is that you don't necessarily have the tools required to kill the Galooba right away. So it could be that you have to reach him and then bring him to a torture chamber to kill him. And you never have a way to actually kill him right off the bat. So you can have fun with him. But you'll basically have to, like, catch him and then bring him to some chamber. So obviously you shouldn't be able to get any taller than this. Well, actually, really. You're never going to see this Galuba again. I feel like they need to abandon approach to Bloodborne simply because of the allegiance to Lovecraft. And I don't think you've actually laid the great ones to waste in that. Instead, what I think has happened is I think you've basically thrown a wrench in the plans of one, and there are a lot bigger, scarier ones out there, and you don't know. See if you kick him out. So he stays, right? He has about half a screen worth. I feel that's a bigger victory than the typical of the genre. Yeah, no, in most of the Lovecraftian stuff, it's just everything has gone to hell and everyone's going mad and everyone's kind of just describing, you know, that experience, but not really getting anywhere with it. But no, yeah, it definitely is a significant change from Dark Souls 1, where so Dark Souls 1 is basically like, yes, you are, you know, it's a hollow presentation of, you know, I kind of want it to go faster. You're supposed to be the chosen one, and everything's supposed to go all great. But obviously that doesn't really pan out. You're just a pawn. It's all bullshitting. In Dark Souls 2, they basically, rather than saying like you're actually the chosen one, they don't even say anything to that effect. They instead say bearer of the curse over and over and over again. You're not really actually chosen. You're one of, you know, a million, you know, dime a dozen hollows that have come in because they've been afflicted with this curse, and they've been drawn to Drang Lake. And, you know, with a lot of the characters, it's basically saying, okay, well, you know, my prior life is over. Now I have to battle and try to figure out what amount of hope that I have at this point. And that's a big thing. And so, remember how hollowing in Dark Souls 1 is basically whether or not you have a goal or a purpose, and the moment you've completed that or you fail, you go hollow and that's it? In Dark Souls 2, on the other hand, it's basically like, are you giving up, or are you basically saying, I could still live a life with this? And all the characters are like that. They're basically they're not even necessarily going through the big journey. Some of them kind of just are adventurers and they'll do it anyways. But like, you know, Leningrass isn't doing anything special. He's a simple blacksmith, and he's not, the only thing he's really trying to do is at least somewhat help, oversee his bumbling daughter. A lot of the story ends up being like that. Kale is similar. Yeah, they're all finding their place in this awful world. Where did he go? Did I already lose him? I think I lost him. Where's our Galumba? Did I skip him? Alright, he has to be up there. The story in the Crisis at the Center of Dark Souls 2 is more existential than... Yeah. No, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so what they end up finding is that they're in this curse cycle, everything has gone to hell, it's probably not getting better, and they have to now say, alright, it's almost like a story of acceptance, determining whether or not, like, now that you know everything is in such bad shape, and things will never go back to how they were, like, can you live with that? Or are you going to end it? And that was the difference. That's what hollowing is for Dark Souls 2. And you even see that for characters like Vendrick. Vendrick was the big, like, super home-hitting point of saying, like, alright, well, you're still clinging on to the fact at that point, like, okay, well, maybe you'll be the one who gets through and you'll be the chosen one or whatever. You're the guy who goes through and, disrupts the order and, meets the king or slays the, ends the corrupt rule or whatever it ends up being, could it be Gwyn? Instead, you reach Vendrick and it's like, oh my god, like, there's no fight, there's no glory here. And that, like, I think that's really cool. It's a nice way to turn that on its head. So even Vendrick kind of saw it, and he'll even basically say, do you want to live the charade that is, actually having any real victory of this, or do you basically want to basically say that it has no power over me? Because when you assemble the crowns, you're not really getting rid of the curse. You're really just saying, you're basically saying that it no longer has any agency over you. It's kind of like coping and acceptance, I'm not sure this is too easy or too hard. I think for most players this will be really hard. Even I'm taking like random hits here and there. There was a theme of submission present. Yeah, you can. And I feel like that was a more interesting story than Dark Souls 1 had. In fact, to some degree, it kind of worked because of Dark Souls 1, the same way that Chrono Cross worked. Chrono Cross's story worked really well because of Chrono Trigger. Even if, honestly, the characters in Chrono Cross, the main characters were good. The 100 side characters were not super great. You know what I might do? I might... Oops. I might say that the, there is no safe zone here. That's an interesting way to do this. So if you want to advance, you have to do something here. What would be even cooler is if I can make one side easier with the beetle shell and one side harder with the spiny. Like I guess one side will be more open with the spiny. So one will be the faster, one will be the slower route. I bet you there's a way I could do that. I could make it to where the track on one side is a little bit longer than the other, so they get disjointed. I didn't realize you could do that. Be careful. Yeah, let's say this one's trickier to do because the positioning's harder. But extend this out a tiny bit. So that way there's more likely to be an opening here. But you have to deal with the spiny. And that way you have a bit of choice. Dark Souls 3, I felt, was probably the least satisfying part of it. Oh, they fall. God damn it. Okay. I kind of need to have one more on this side, too. Like that. So yeah, there's typically going to be like a big opening on the left side. The right side is safer. So if you're a speedrunner type, you could say, alright, this is way more likely to open up. Actually, let's do this. There. So you have the fast and slow. For that reason, you're glad they brought the choice back. Dark Souls and RPG, losing a choice is interesting. Yeah. Connotation is the Soul Cinder is your character. Yeah, no, the build up, the lack of build up for Soul Cinder sucks. And Vendrick had awesome build up, especially for the reveal. Yeah, so this should be easier on the left side. Well, if you're willing to risk getting shot. Should be quicker. I guess what I should do then is cut one off here. That way this one is mostly closed. No, yeah. The little illusions for Nishandra are great. Yeah, you both got that. Yeah, see, so if you're willing to risk it, the left side is safer and easier. I don't know which game's curse I like more. Dark Souls 1's felt... I guess Dark Souls 2's was better. I don't think I liked it. I think it was just okay and tolerable. It was like soft enough to be like a decent debuff. Yeah, so this is way faster. And the one on the right, on the other hand. Yeah. Yeah, this one is way slower. This is exactly what I want. Now you have a choice. Do you want to choose the hard version of the boss? Or the easier one? And you could switch. There's one thing I want to do, though. I'd love to... I don't know if I can do this or not. I want to prevent him from going any higher than he currently is. Yeah, we can do this, right? Perfect, okay. I'm not sure how tall he is. Is he 2 or 1? What time is it? 10:02? Generally, you think Bloodborne should have been higher risk reward gameplay-wise? I feel like it was too much. Bloodborne, I felt like, just cranked it up to 1,000,000 and made it not fun. It has to be uneven. Oh well. I don't think anybody's really gonna notice. I definitely think Insight should have been a stronger mechanic. I feel like Insight should have had should have practically branched out the game. Almost in the same way that how you use the shards in Sundered dramatically changes how the game plays. Because in Sundered, you basically can say your character is inherently stronger but doesn't have as many interesting abilities, or your character is weaker but is way more flexible and interesting. So some of the cooler abilities come if you choose the harder path, where the game is just absolutely more difficult. Guess that kind of worked out. I feel like certain bosses should only be accessible after meeting certain... Yeah, no, yeah. I think that would have been a better way to handle many of the otherwise optional bosses anyways. Yeah, I could see that. I could see basically you hit a certain point and like your insight cannot be lowered. Like it becomes fixed. And you have a threshold, like a curse threshold, where once you hit that point, things have gotten that much worse, and you can't unknow the horrible things that you would know. Yeah, so I want this whole section to be one last interesting final puzzle somewhere, and then a boss. The boss would be great. And once you're done with the boss, So whichever one of these ends up being our boss, needs to have a key on him. Oops. I think it says you can't put checkpoints. Yeah. Oh shoot! Shush. Yeah, Blood Echoes I really don't understand. I mean... like, it's so contrived. So, like, they're basically kind of saying that, like... I don't know how to explain. It's like a measure of your, not humanity. I don't know. They didn't do it for me, that's for sure. Bloodborne should have had a normal merchants that accepted normal money. I mean, that would have made more sense with the way Bloodborne is structured, the way the society is structured, for sure. Although, bear in mind, though, that considering that considering the structure of Bloodborne's story, I don't think you're actually in the quote-unquote real-world non-hunter's dream is not really real-life Yarnum as far as I could tell anyways. So we're gonna come up with what to do this with this guy eventually. I think he gets up at some point, right? He's not out forever. Yep. Oh, he comes up. Man, he spazzes out. Holy crap. Oh man, I need some ideas. I need to figure out what I want to do with this. Most of what turned me off of Bloodborne, though, wasn't story and theme or any of that stuff. I know everyone loves to talk about it. Mechanics. Bloodborne's mechanics were, like, the way it felt was the same problem that Dark Souls 3 had, where the granularity of input was so high, but the granularity of decision-making was so low. And that really was kind of what put me off the game. That was the big thing. And Dark Souls 3 has the same problem for especially the PvE. Just like the basic combat interactions, the movement and everything just felt bad. Part of it is that it's basically them saying, oh, we want to make it closer to an action RPG, but we don't want to have anything that makes action RPGs interesting. And nothing fills the gap. So what do you do? So how far does the skewer go? Do they just go until they're done? No, they go a certain distance. I want to do something with this. Wonder how much of Bloodborne's flaws come from the Souls template. You know, there was pressure in front to make a Souls-like IP. I think abandoning souls as a requirement made Sekiro interesting. Abandoning RPG mechanics like the leveling and the experience as a resource for more than simple perky stuff. Not having multiplayer was fantastic. Not having as much character customization, as much equipment variety, and yeah, I think a lot of developers get trapped into thinking. There's basically two things that'll happen. One is that culturally there is a preference for sort of just like keep the tradition, keep the good. Like you're the people who make Souls, and that's what you do, and that's all you know. You're almost being typecast. How do I like? I want to figure out a way to. So move this door somewhere else. The weapon variety, I think the biggest thing with that is that I think it made it to where the weapons could be way more unique, and they could spend time refining what they had. I figured out a way to do this. I'd like Ergalumba to get, because it has to be like this. I want, so he has to be even further forward. To drop like here. And then Mario has to be like here. Rubber weapons didn't have enough uniqueness to justify how few they were. No, yeah, I mean the moves repeated over and over again. They had like 6 or 7 different moves overall. They were repeated across the different weapons, and they might have had a slightly different appearance, but like the hitboxes could have been identical. You know, it's like comparing, you know, Street Fighter 2's Ryu and Ken movesets, like original Street Fighter 2, and going like, they look a little different. One might be a red fireball every while or so, but that's about it. I think I know what I want to do. So, actually, what are your switches even going to be at this point? Let's see, okay. Oh crap, I could have put this to use too. Or... Huh. This space is usable. I can't use it, yeah. I can't use it, here. I have to get rid of, like... This has to stay, but I can make it to where you take a door back to here. You can take a door back to here, do something very small, if I really needed it to, and then go all the way to the boss afterwards, if I needed it, if it was imperative. The issue with Bloodborne wasn't the RPG factor, but the RPG factors they put in the game were poorly designed. I mean, also the whole issue of multiplicative modifiers for blood gems, where like... And then combine that with the extremely harsh defense formula. So basically, not only do you have extreme increases in your AR, but then you the net result of that, even if it was a linear increase, was damn near exponential. So you have two factors: the way that higher AR to defense becomes armor penetrating, and the fact that more blood gems stacked on top of each other had a more effect per gem. Like each gem would increase the benefit of the other gems. It's not like 25% of your base over and over again. It's you know 27% times 27% times 27%. So you end up with 200 and whatever. I can't remember what I was doing. Oh yeah, you had to, if you wanted to do PvP, you had to grind the challenge dungeons. Otherwise, you get two-shot by a assault cleaver. So these would be, the red ones would be solid at this point. Okay. So I know what I'm doing with this. It just comes down to This is a bit of a timing puzzle. I need to make sure that the Galumba isn't going to go to the side, and you shouldn't be able to go either. Oh, I have a interesting question with this. That'll reel back too, yeah. Perfect. So you're gonna actually go to the bottom of the screen with the Galumba. But I need to make sure the Galumba can't go the other way. And I don't know if this breaks. Or no. This is tough to work out. Like this. I don't know if this is going to block the... It does. No, that sucks. How do we do this? I need to make sure the Galumba can't go to the... to the left. Something like this. So you can see him.
Let's go.
And this actually has to be like over here. Because what I would like is that you hit this point and you can't get out, and your only choice is to jump and take the risk. And then you take a jump and something. What I might do is make it so that the Galumba ends up over here. Yeah. And there's another one down here, and then you leave. You can. I'm not a fan of Bloodborne's guns. I think Quicksilver Bullets is dumb. I think grinding for blood vials is dumb. Put one over there so I remember. This is so sinister. I'm liking it. You think the stupid should be more gun-like instead of being parry tool? I think that they were trying to figure out a way to make parries non-spammable, and that was all they could come up with. It's still Sekiro, which is so much better. Something's, oh, I know. This isn't cut off. You need to lock your camera. Ooh. I will actually want to have something just very subtle to indicate that you're safe or not. Yeah, wow. Perfect. Is this gonna hit? You can duck it. That's an interesting strat. You can barely duck it. Gun should have more range damage than full speed, but a reload animation. I don't know if I'm ready to make a declaration for what I think is right for Bloodborne's guns. But I think they could have done better. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I think guns needed to exist. Oh, he can go through, right. Oh, because he's a dummy and he won't do what I tell him to do. This is the cool... Hold on a sec. Is that locking the camera like I wanted to? Hold on. How is the repeating pistol proof of that? Yeah, your camera is locked. Perfect. So it's the moment you're in that screen then, it is when it locks. Great. So you have a little bit of wiggle room at the very top. That's about it. Or no, I guess it's because this is locked. Never mind. Try this again. Fire twice before reloading. Well, FromSoft always has enemies that don't follow the rules because that allows them to have more control over making the gameplay interesting. So I don't think enemies doing one thing or the other. Otherwise, you'd be like, players are supposed to have infinite stamina because yeah, so you can still scroll. I don't think players are supposed to have infinite stamina, but enemies in the world do. I want him to leave out there this way. The only issue with this is that I can't, if I do that, then well, I can't lock off I can lock off this side of the screen. Oh, this is rough. Well, yeah, I think guns were just made to be like, how do we solve the problem of we needed a non-spammable parry mechanic. And I think that's really... That's about as much thought as they could have put into it. this is better or worse. They're meant to be a basic combat mechanic. Do you think so? I don't necessarily think so. And I think Spirit Emblems, yeah. Spirit Emblems probably should have been closer to, they should, like, Momodora 4 did this, where basically, like, everything you can purchase is just an increase to your max, but they still replenish at a bonfire, checkpoint, whatever. Man, this is gonna feel hella cramped in like a good way. Is there any way to... No, you can't. I was gonna say if there's any way you can alternate. That would be cool. You can't. Code Vein had a really good system similar to Spirit Emblems called Icar, where you plunge them at a bonfire or whatever. Yeah, that sounds exactly like what Momodora did, which is another, just a, you know, yet another example of a way you can make it interesting. If you use regular blocks, does that... Oh, right, these aren't well, these are breakable by shells. I just want to, I don't know if I want to use a bomb or not, that's the thing. Can I use a regular block instead? Will that lock the camera in place? I don't think it does. Also, it's like 10:30, so I'm about to leave to get to the gym. So I don't want to disappoint too much. Oh, geez, those go long distance. Okay. Special launcher attack. Yeah, so basically what they're saying is that your points to do a cool thing are dictated by if you play well. And that's kind of what Hollow Knight did. Hollow Knight has basically the better version of the system that Bloodborne had for Regain. Yeah, so this is still open. I'll have to figure this one out in a bit. I don't have an answer for this just yet. What I could do is... no. Unless Thwomps can go to the left of the road. Well, hold on a sec. I have an interesting thought. Jeez, these are 4 tall. Bear with me while I work this out before I gotta be able to go to the gym. You hold on just a minute. I will have to leave an opening somewhere, so I'll do that in a sec. You should make these twos. I think you can't, yeah. Let's double check to see if this does what I think it's gonna do. Yes! How far is this gonna go? Is this gonna go one more? Yes, okay. So what I'm gonna do, which will be cool, is so by the time you get here, the red ones are gonna be opening or closed again. I think this is going to do what I want. And for just to make sure. No, yeah, I think the reason why they made it part of a farmable resource is because I think that they were worried that players should have an infinite amount. I don't know why they didn't go with the Estus-like system. Or Ashen Estus was a great idea too. Yeah, then you just let them through. Oof, okay. Let's let the Galumba through first. Come on. The Galumba gets to leave, and I'm busy waiting. It's perfect. So yeah, the Galumba gets to escape at this point, and you gotta chase him. So what I think will happen is that if he can escape out this way, and you can't see him because you're stuck over here. Like, what's the furthest you can get the camera to go? Yeah, so about here. The Galumba just leaves. Now, what'll happen in the actuality is that he's just gonna fall off or whatever. So he gets to leave. See, I can't... There's no way I can go any faster. Now, what I'll have to do is I'm going to have some sort of, like... When these get broken, I'm going to have something bright. Do this. So what'll happen is that, like, let this thing go. I might make this the sparks instead. Avalanche one? Wait, where? Clatter?
Let's go.
That's a little too noisy. I think I don't like that. I think this is fine because this has enough brightness to it. I actually don't really like that. You know what I can do because of the way the fireworks work? Put them over here. I'll do both.
Let's go.
No. Do not like that. It'd be great if I could put a bomb or something in there, like if I can lock the bombs in there. But they would break everything else up, so that's not the best idea.
Let's go. Let's go.
This thing is fine. I want it to be very clear what's going on. And I don't want it to be super obnoxious either. So this is cool so far. I still need to do more with this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might make it just where there's a couple of these that go up, or I don't even know what. But something here you have to deal with. And obviously I want some coins or something. Maybe to get you distracted from the Galumba a little bit. Oh, you know what I could do? I could have some bait coins. Actually, I could put a 10 coin down here. So not only does it reveal the area next to him, next to the crusher thing, but it also gets you in the way of the crusher.
Let's go.
That way you can always see the blocks there too. So we want to risk it and get in there. I want to have one last sound at the end of this to let you know you gotta go.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then you would have crossed at that point. Alright, I think that's good for now. I definitely have got to go. Let me see if there's anybody we could raid.